under our belt. And I'm so excited to bring you the next installment of The Healthy CEO. I have so much going on right now. I was trying to keep all of my notes like super concise so that I could share all the things that I thought were super important, but just not leak any of the things that I can't wait to tell you yet, but almost we're getting so close. So this week was our 5-day workshop. We kicked off the free 5-day workshop, and which was called Spring Clean Your Kitchen. So we're all about spring cleaning right now. And I thought that this was a really good way to implement the things we've been talking about in our nutrition journey. So a couple of weeks ago, I actually sent out a feedback form to my customers, my clients through my newsletter to try to just gauge where people were when it came to their nutrition journey, like what they struggled with, what is the biggest questions that they have. And it was interesting to find out that almost all the people, and women mostly, that I polled really just struggled with knowing what to eat. Right. And I feel like for me, from my standpoint, that's really astonishing to me that there are so many people still that need help when it comes to learning and knowing what to eat. And it's no secret, I suppose, because there's so much noise out there, there's so much information, like no wonder why we don't know where to start, right? The other big component was a lot of people, a lot of women messaged back saying they were so worried about what they would have to give up in the process that they don't even go there, right? They stop themselves from even researching a healthy nutrition plan or what to do before they even got there, because they're so thinking about, oh, I can't have this and I can't have that, and this food is bad, and how am I going to do this, and just kind of like counting themselves out before they even started. So I really was excited to do this spring cleaning because in my mind, the importance of having something like this is to sort of start from square one, right? There's so many steps in the nutrition process and journey and learning that you really need to kind of sort of have a mindset reset, right? Because in order for us to really talk about what it is that you need and how to teach you how to eat and fuel your body, you sort of need to unlearn all these bad behaviors that we all have. And we all have them, right? We're either a product of our environment, how we were raised, or some other thing happened to us where we think food is one way, or we had a different experience, right? Or even maybe it could be our culture, where we use food to celebrate a lot of events and things like that, right? So at the time of this recording, our people are a couple days in. I've got about 30 ladies inside of this spring cleaning, spring clean your kitchen, and they are working on decluttering. They are decluttering their cabinets, their pantries, they're organizing things. And you know what the really cool thing about this exercise is they're going through this process of really thinking about what they have in their freezers and refrigerators and pantries, right? Like they're really taking inventory on what they are eating and what maybe their habits are, right? And how they go about their day. And this is really also going to help them to think about, okay, reset my mental status around food and healthier eating, but also when you remove that noise and you remove that clutter, you start to make space and be more open to new ideas and new ways to proceed, and new opportunities that are going to work for you. So, as I mentioned, it was designed as a mindset reset. I know that, it's really easy to come in and say, hey guys, I'm going to do a 5-day clean eating workshop and I'm going to give you a meal plan and I'm going to congratulate you and give you kudos and prizes for finishing the week and showing me how you can copy these meal plans, right? But what have you learned when you get to the end of the week? Probably not much, right? Like anyone can say, here, eat this and you'll be successful. And they probably will. You probably could go through your whole week, making sure you're getting in enough water and hydration and all those things. And then what happens on, day 8 when the 7 days are over, right? We go back to our old habits. So the purpose of me kind of taking these women through this process is for me to literally teach you how to eat and fuel your body so that you can go forth and be successful. But not just that, like have the confidence and know, right? I feel like sometimes just like knowing the rules and the parameters, right? It's just not enough to be sustainable, right? And we just talked about that. It's all embedded in our mindset. It's how we feel about food. It's how we were raised, as I just mentioned, that culture, right? So, this week we talked a lot about my journey, right? And I tested a lot of different things out along the way. I stepped on stage a couple times at amateur bikini competitions and had two different experiences with that. And really was just such great knowledge, right? Like I saw how my body changed when I ate this or didn't eat that, and vice versa, right? We would go through these refeed days, which were really kind of cool and eye opening too. And they were basically like days where you sort of like it wasn't really a free for all, but it was like our coach would make all these healthy treats and there was no limit on how much we could eat. Like we could eat, but it was all like healthy foods, right? So, but it was like healthy brownies, let's say, like, or a healthy pizza, right? So it wasn't like carrots and broccoli and stuff. The stuff was made within that stuff, but you understand where I'm going at with this, right? So what the experience we went through was how our body responded to those refeed days, right? And that told us like, oh, this feels good or this didn't feel good, right? And those learning processes and those learning experiences are going to help you to build your own experiences, right? And so ultimately, like I ended up understanding what I needed to do in order to get results. I also got educated. I went and got certified, right? But that's not in everybody's, wheelhouse, right? It's not everybody's, uh, you know, ambition to go and get a certification so they can understand how to eat, right? So what I wanted to do kind of is get you kind of jumpstart you on sort of this process, right? I want to give you some basic tools today to get you started, and then we can talk about next steps as we go along. As I mentioned, the biggest thing that I hear from a lot of my women are, I don't know what to eat. Like, I don't know how much to eat. Like, I just don't know what to do, right? Because we're inundated with all these different ideas and things like that. So I have, created this process where we are talking about how to build a balanced plate. Okay. And I'm always talking about this balance because really you have to walk before you can run, right? You have to build a foundation before you can expand and do more of that, right? Like if you can't get the basics down, then you should not move on to the next step. And you should stay in phase one until you're ready to move forward. Okay. So it's like, you're not going to go outside and run the Boston Marathon, right? There are baby little steps for quite some time as far as training before you can take on something of that magnitude. And then even that's like a one-time thing, right? So it's not like you run a marathon every day, right? It's not meant to be like that, right? So it's the same with nutrition. So if you set the benchmark way up here, like I hear all the time, I'm just going to go to keto because it's easy. I'm just going to go to low carb because it's easy, right? You set the benchmark up here. I'm going to do this advanced nutritional theory. And then you realize after a couple of weeks, that's just not sustainable. Or you slip and have a pizza and you're like, oh, I can't do this, right? And the thing about it too is that I'm not like knocking any one theory over another, but you have to know that if it's not sustainable for you, then it might not be for you, right? But again, counting macros, low carb, carb cycling, intermittent fasting, keto, any of those types of nutritional theories, they're a little bit more advanced than just the basics. So if you can start at the basics and stay consistent with it, and then you will be successful, and then you can start to explore other things once you've mastered the basics. Okay. So, the build your plate method is based around four things. Okay. So you have your balanced plate, right? And I'm always going to talk to you about balance because we need all the things. If you want to be healthy and just live a healthy lifestyle, you need carbs, you need fats, you need proteins, and you need vegetables. Okay. We're not even talking about, losing weight or building muscle. Like you need the basics in order to function. Your brain needs to function, your liver, your heart, all the things. How do you want to feel when you're doing your workout, right? You need fuel to function. Okay. So you're always going to hear me talk about balance. Super, super important to have that, build that balanced plate. And like I said, basics, and then you could move forward once you sort of find your place here. Okay. So build your plate is made up of four things. You've got your protein, your carb, your healthy carb, which are your So protein, carb, healthy fat, and vegetables. Okay, so those are the 4 categories. Those are your 4 things. So proteins are going to be your lean meats. So beef, turkey, fish, chicken, like eggs, yogurts. If you're vegan, then beans could be in that category. That's like a whole nother discussion, but we can get there if you need help with that. So lean proteins, lean meats, fish, eggs, that kind of thing, right? Healthy carbs is the second one. Okay, so healthy carbs are like potatoes, fruits, beans could also be in this category. Um, uh, bread, pastas, rice, anything that is deemed as like, a carb, basically, right? Like, so cookies are in that category. Alcohol falls into that category, okay? And then your healthy fats are your cheeses, your avocados, your nuts, your salad dressings, your oils, your butters, like nut butters, peanut butters, things like that too, right? So that's going to be your healthy fat category. I said cheese, right? Cheese is in there. And then your vegetables are, kind of obvious. You've got your greens and your peppers and onions and mushrooms and broccolis and all of the things. And important to just try to eat the rainbow, right? So we want to kind of think about that. The other big part about that is don't be super worried about your veggies, as far as like just eat the stuff you like. Like I literally eat the same stuff all the time, and that's how I stay successful. You try to get me to eat a bunch of stuff that I've never tried before, I'm all set. Like it's just not, you need to do what's best for you. And you're going to hear me say that all the time, that the number one diet that works best for you, the number one diet that works best is the one that works best for you, that is sustainable for you. Okay. But I'm going to start you on the right path here with the 4. So the 4 things. Okay. So you're building your plate, right? So how do I know how much to eat? So in the very beginning stages, I want you to start out with at least 3 meals a day. Okay. I know that some people talk about 3 meals and 2 snacks and whatever. 3 meals a day. Let's start with 3 meals a day. Okay. And again, walk before you can run. Let's just start with the basics. Once you master the basics and you start to need other things, then let's talk. Okay. But just start with the basics, get consistent with the basics, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay. So proteins. It is going to be, I'm going to show you how to measure this using your hands and your hands, because they're portable. This is a super easy method way to do portions so that you can like take it with you, right? On the go, you're portable. So a protein is going to be like the size of your palm. So a piece of chicken, right? 2 eggs are roughly 1 serving. And then I would say, I'd have to look it up, but I think it's a cup of yogurt, like Greek yogurt, right? It is typically like 4 ounces or so, right? So the palm of your hand is the size of a protein, right? And then you've got your healthy carb. So healthy carbs are going to be the size of your fist. So a baked potato, a cup of rice, right? So size of your fist is a good portion size. The healthy fat is the size of your thumb. Okay, so about 2 tablespoons. So that could be nut butters, that could be salad dressings, an ounce of cheese, that sort of thing, right? But you want to think about it in that regard, right? About a thumb size. And then your vegetables are also the size of your fist. So like a cup or so, okay? So what you basically want to do is start off with the 4 things 3 times a day. Okay. And start off with those basics. And what's going to start to happen is in the very beginning, when you start something new and your body is like trying to get used to something new, it's going to go, whoa, what's happening here? Right. So you could feel all kinds of uncomfortable feelings, right? Especially if you might be like a person that's like eating a lot of junk. Right. And all of a sudden you're eating like broccoli and really nutrient dense foods. You could be super full and be like, oh, I can't even get all this in, right? So I want you to do your best, but I also want you to be aware of those cues, okay? And remember I said we want to master these basics before we move on, right? Because the next thing that will start to happen is you probably, once your metabolism sort of is like, oh, we're eating good food and we're eating it a few times a day, you're going to probably start to want for more, and you're probably going to end up needing more food, okay, which is a good sign. So we should also talk when you get to that point as well. Okay, so Like I mentioned before, I love this method because you can take it with you wherever you go. When I go and actually getting ready to go on spring break to Florida for about a week, and this is how I gauge myself when I'm away, when I'm not tracking, when I don't have, my materials in front of me, where I just want to relax a little bit because I kind of know, okay, I just need to eat a balanced meal wherever I go, and I'm within my parameters and I'm good, So you can take that out to a restaurant and say, look, a piece of steak, right? A baked potato, cauliflower, broccoli with melted butter on it, or a salad with salad dressing on it, right? Like, think about those four things and what they look like and have those with you wherever you go. Okay. We overthink this stuff so much, you guys. It really does not have to be this difficult. It is so, so, so simple. Stop thinking about what you can't have, what you can have, what you've deemed good, what you've deemed bad, and just eat. Just enjoy your food. Savor it. Eat slowly, right? We talk about the 80-20 rule a lot inside of my accountability group, okay? It's not about giving stuff up. It's about finding that balance and making room for the things in life that you love, right? We work out and we're healthy and we're fit in order to do the things in life that we enjoy, right? Having a healthy lifestyle is not meant to take away from your life. It's meant to add to your life. It's such a small part of your day. It's meant to complement what you're already doing so that you can enjoy all of those other times and people and places and food and celebrations, right? So you need to embrace that. Be open. Take that time to declutter your kitchen and your mindset and turn off the noise and stop following the guy on social media who's telling you to do this and telling you to do that. And it'll be good to drink this vinegar, and it'll be good to have this, packet of snacks and what all the things are, and just eat. Just eat real food 3 times a day and grab the 4 things. Okay. So I'm sorry if you missed out on our 5-day workshop. Probably something I'll do again. Just watch out for that. But I have a lot more opportunities for you to join me in May. Okay. So, number one, the summer is almost here. I just can't even believe that we are going to be going into May in just a couple of weeks. And so, what I typically find this time of year is that it's hard to stay on track when school lets out, right? Because everyone goes on vacation and we're all over the place. And whether, depending on how old our kids are, if they're in sports or they're working, or we have littles and we're going to the beach and we're out of the house and we're in the house and we're trying to keep people occupied or whatever, right? Like, schedules are kind of all over the place for a little bit before school gets to be back in session. So what I really love to be able to do is host these accountability groups where we can keep you on track and keep you focused in the season of life that you're in. Okay. So I'm going to be hosting a 4-week fitness challenge that's going to focus on quick 25-minute workouts. And it's going to be a mix of cardio and weights. And we're going to focus on fitness. We're going to focus on quick, simple, healthy nutrition, but also share those fun ways to enjoy the foods and the cocktails we love. And then a big part of what we are going to also incorporate is we are going to be talking about how living a healthy lifestyle begins with belief. We always say, like, it feels like, creating this healthy lifestyle is like this roller coaster, right? And you're starting and you're quitting and you're starting over. Okay. But maybe instead of taking that outlook, and thinking this is just doesn't work for me, or someone else must just have something that I don't in order for it to work. Instead, let's talk about belief, right? Success beginning in life with belief that you are strong, you are capable, you are disciplined, you are worthy, you are equipped. That is the most important part of the journey, is believing in yourself. So we are going to talk a lot about sprinkling that stuff in along the way. I love being able to incorporate that personal development, that mindset piece, guys. You hear me say this all the time. It starts with the 6 inches between your ears. And if you're not working on yourself first, you can forget all the other things because they're not going to work. Okay. Everything starts with you. Everything starts with what you think about food, about fitness, about all of the things. Okay. We need to shut out the noise, start over. That's going to be a part of my accountability group for May. So enrollment is just about open for that. So if you want to join us for that 4-week challenge, for the 25-minute workout, message me, let me know. Number 2 thing is, this is something I've never offered before. Okay. And this is something over and above what I do as a body partner. Beachbody. I've been a part of their community, and I've been a partner with Beachbody for over a decade now. I have actually decided to put something together based off my 20 years experience of my own fitness journey, my own nutrition journey, and build an amazing experience for you that I'm going to be announcing next week. I'm not saying anything just yet because I really want to make sure that the women that are inside of my workshop get first crack at this. This is going to be something really unique and really special, and is really going to help to change the game of nutrition for you. That's all I'm going to say. I will release the announcement next week. Okay. And I'm only offering this to a small handful of people, like a really small handful. This is my first time doing this. And if it goes well, I'll offer another one in the fall. But I really want to use this first one and work with a small handful of individuals. I have a lot of really amazing things planned, but this is going to be offered to the workshop attendees first. Those 30 women will have they'll get first notified for this. And then I will also be offering this to my existing clients in my online accountability group over the weekend. And then I will be announcing it to the entire public next week for enrollment. And that's if it doesn't fill up first. So I'm really excited about that. So you have 2 opportunities to work with me in May. If you have any questions or you want to learn about any of that, make sure you send me an email, send me a message. I can get your information. I will also drop below the link of my accountability group form. So you can just fill that out. Let me know a little bit more about what your goals, what it is that you're looking to tackle this spring and summer, and then I'll be in touch and have the message with you via email after that. So I'm excited. Thank you so much for being here. Remember the 4 things. If you get any questions about anything you heard, send me a message. I hope you guys are having a great week.